everybody. How's everybody doing? Okay, I'm going to say this right off the bat. Everyone's like, wait a minute. It's not 8 o'clock. No, it's 9. I thought we would try something new and see if we, go later. Me, I like later because then I'll be able to connect with more of you. So let's just try this out and see how it works. But before I go any further, I got another amazing co-host sitting in the back in the green room. So just sit back. And real quick, though, let me ask you this. As you're listening to today's show, are you working on your dream life? I mean, really working on it. And your dream life is that what's next? That urge in your stomach, that in the pit of your stomach, that you want to do that. Are you doing it? Or are you ignoring that feeling like a lot of us do? See, let me say this. When I was working, I still work in corporate, but I honestly could say I was ignoring that pit feeling and I was ignoring it to the point of one day I was sitting at my corporate desk and I literally had a breakdown. A breakdown looking around and saying, "Is this it? This is all my life is for me to empower someone else's pockets to make them successful, but forgetting about my what's next and putting it back to not listen to it." So here's what I did. I finally had to pull myself together and I realized that I know that there's more out here for me. So I started working on my what's next. And I did that starting with a vision board. And the vision board allowed me to create my roadmap to my what's next. So as you sit here and listen to me, grab your pen and paper, your girlfriend and girlfriends, or better yet, your coworker or coworkers, and let's start working on your what's next. So tonight's amazing guest, you guys, I've been busy all day, but I can't wait for you guys to meet her. She is on an adventure that as no one has heard of or doing as I've come across, but yet she's so powerful, impactful. So grab everybody, get your favorite evening beverage. I would say I've already had my evening beverage. It's late. But if you have any questions, drop them in the feed. Those of you who do not have StreamYard, it'll ask you to give permission so we can see your questions or your answers. So please do that and we'll be able to see them. So without further ado, it is let me bring Miss Vickie to the.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm
Good.
really good. Yeah.
Good. Well, I was telling everybody a little bit about yourself, but tell them more about you.
Yes. Oh my God. Where do I start? So I have probably a very interesting professional background. I've done so many jobs, everything from being a certified massage therapist to elementary school teacher to giving tours in a vineyard to being a professional mermaid for events. So I have a very crazy, eclectic professional background that has finally led me to full-time coaching teams. So one thing that has been consistent in the last 13 years is that I've been coaching a sports coach. I've been coaching artistic swimming, and I made it all the way to international competitions with my athletes. And that's really what got me passionate into being a goal getter, being someone who goes after my what's next, whether it's for my athletes or for myself. And that's why I now work as a mindset coach inside of multidisciplinary team. I also host retreats, workshops, and just kind of try to share my joy and passion with the world.
Oh my goodness, yeah. And so you guys have to, if you have any questions, she's here to ask the questions. I want everybody to know if you are catching if you're catching the replay and you're like, oh, but I still have questions for her, drop them in the feed. I still have connections to her, so I'll be able to push them over to her and then we'll figure out how to get you two connected. So I definitely would do that, love to do that. But so first and foremost, we always talk about the vision board, and I have to first start off. So many people had before I got into doing the vision board and understand how it really worked, everyone's like, it doesn't work. I mean, I don't know how many people had said it didn't work, it's a myth. And then I had to really sit back and I'm like, okay, so was it the myth because you were like, I'm going to be a president and you haven't worked on that goal, or was it that you're going to be a surgeon but haven't gone to school yet? And so that I have to say, I have to put that disclaimer out. It works if you believe in it and if you put things that are realistic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I mean, I don't know how many people were like, oh, it doesn't work, but you'll get to see ours in just a few minutes.
Oh, it works. Like before even talking about vision boards, you need to have a vision. And if
Yeah.
that vision isn't clear and isn't honest, if you're not being honest with yourself about who you want to be and what you want to be doing, then of course your vision board is not going to work because it's not aligned with your vision and with who you are. So I think that's the very first step. You need to have that. And then the vision board helps you change your internal reality so that you can then start see changes in your external reality. So yeah, vision boards are very powerful.
So then let's go back a little bit. Though we talked about you have to have a vision, I want to take it back further than back than that. You have to have a mindset. You really have to work on the mindset. So when you started that journey on doing your vision board, what type of mindset work did you start doing? And I'll share some of mine.
Yeah. I'm just going to share one question that is basically my compass and how I navigate through life. And it's do I love myself when?
Ooh.
Do I love myself when I'm with this friend? Do I love myself when I'm with this partner? Do I love myself at my job? Do I love myself when I complain? Do I love myself when I laugh? Do I love myself when I dance? When do I love myself? And this is how I know if I'm on the right path or not, or if I'm with the right friend, or in any of my relationships, my relationship with food, my relationship with social media consumption, my relationship with my parents. Do I love myself when? So that would be the one tip. If I want people to leave with one thing, it would be that question.
And that's a powerful question because it push it back on the ownership, but then it also makes you look. I mean, when you said that, do I love myself when? I'm like, okay. you know it really has to make, but then it really does. But I'm glad that you put that out there because ironically enough, before coming on the show, then my new word in my vocabulary is bandwidth. And I had to really, and so those kind of go hand in hand because we get so low on our bandwidth distributing to everybody. Well, why? And it goes back to, did I love myself when I'm giving it to you? And, do I love myself when I'm listening to this? And I'm so glad. So it all works so much in hand. But I feel that mindset work is so important for us to talk about. And for women around the world, because that's our targeting audience, but everyone around the world knowing that you can work on your what's next, but you have to be true to yourself. And the perfect question is, do I love myself when?
When? Yeah.
So have you ever had somebody that had said, I don't, and what do you suggest for them to do?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, the best example would be me. I was in a toxic relationship. I don't believe in toxic people. I believe in toxic behaviors and toxic relationships. And I was in a toxic relationship for over 4 years. I had a house with this person and everything was on track. We had everything that was supposed to make us happy, right? We
Yes.
had stable jobs, a roof over our head, a long-term relationship, and yet I was miserable. And this person brought out the worst out of me, and I stayed there for years. I was overweight. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't have any passions. I hated myself at the end of those 4 years. So if you ask yourself this question and you're like, you know what? Actually, when I hang out with that friend, I don't like who I am. I make bad decisions for my health. I make decisions that don't bring me closer to my goals. It means it's time to let it go. It means it's time to let it go and start healing and forgiving yourself for
Wow.
being in that situation, and then start building something new that brings you more joy and a better relationship with yourself.
That healing, I love that. Healing yourself. Because you hear so many women think that they see us now, we're so joyful, and we got it together, but they don't understand. And I want women to understand we went through a lot. and we're still going through a lot, but now we're able to talk about it. And I feel that's one important healing piece, because we as women are out here conquering the world, trying to take it on, as I always say, the Shira syndrome, where we want to take it on and we don't want to show how we feel. But I feel that it's the one way for us to begin the healing
Yeah.
is to talk about what we have faced and what we're going through, so we can work on our mindset, so we can go to our what's next.
Yeah.
But in order to get to those steps, you have to start, as you even said, do I love myself when? And that is such a great mantra for everyone. I hope you guys, if nothing else, you've taken from the conversation already, is to put that in your books and know about what do I love myself when. And I'm with you. I too I had allowed the relationship with me was food. I felt food was more important than everything else. And furthermore, food didn't get to speak back. So I was just having this horrible relationship with food, and then allowing to ignore everything else until I'm like, wait a minute. I have to be here on this earth a little bit longer, so I can work people a little bit longer to get them to their what's next. But all due honestly, learning to wait. Food isn't all that important. I mean, it is for your health, but not to the point of where I was like, I love food and not taking care of myself. So
Yeah.
I totally agree with you on that question. So that really helps to embed into our minds when you're doing something that you like know that doesn't feel well. You can ask that question that you asked, do I love myself when? And
Yeah.
it goes for everything, like you said,
Anything.
food, relationship, and it's so much more. So I love that you talk about that. So once we have talked about the relationship, I'm sorry, the mindset, then we also talk about our vision board. Now, I love my vision board to the day, but you guys have to see hers. So you want to show everybody, Vickie, your
Oh yeah,
vision board?
sure. I could show it.
Now look, guys.
There you go.
Oh my goodness. And so with your vision board, how many of those is that the new vision board? Because I know we looked at several. Is that the
Yeah.
one? Is that the new?
Yeah, this is January,
Okay,
and a lot of those things already happened.
I know. So like what was one of the things that has happened on your vision board right now?
There's a very huge one in this corner. I don't know if you see, there's a lot of sailboats sailing. And on April 1st, I bought a sailboat.
Yay!
So in September, I'm going to be moving on my sailboat in the Caribbean and start sailing around the world. Another thing that's on my board right here in the top is Korea. Oh, sorry, other side is Korea, and I'm leaving for Korea in 3 weeks.
Oh, exciting.
I already have my plane tickets and Airbnb, so unless there's a big catastrophe, this will happen as well. And then there's a bunch of, food and parties with friends. All of that has happened. Clan Friends shows at the bottom here. Oh, here. I've already seen them 3 times live since
Wow.
January. So yeah, you're right. I'm gonna need to make a new one very soon.
Yeah, that's why I always say that's why I do mine every 6 months, because things change. Or we've reached our goals and we've now like, okay, let's keep it moving. And so yeah, I'm all about doing vision boards on every 90 days, because they move. Our goals are especially when you are so in tune to your vision board, they start dropping off like flies, I promise you. But you have to be really in tune to it. But here's my vision board. This was back in 2020.
Oh, hello.
And one I have here, okay, did you hear what I said? 2020 was media, right? And at that time, I had no podcast, no podcast, no TV, no magazine. I just put it out there, and I'm like, you know what? Well, if it comes, it happens. If it happens, if it happens. Okay, I have them all. And I love them all. I truly never thought that I would be where I'm at with these. So media is one on here. Another one I have so many of them, is brand ambassador. I have some brand ambassadors for them, and then touching so many thousand women. Oh, and funny enough, my power words, because I'm all in power words. One of my power words on here, I had written down epic. I have a shirt that has epic and diamonds and things like that. So I really do believe in the vision board, and the purpose of it. I want everyone to see, because so many people are starting to sway a little bit more. You're hearing them more, but they don't understand how it works. Does it work, and can I see it? So that's why I'm starting to bring people on, so that
Yeah.
they can see it, and so they do know that it does work.
Well, you know, I told you that I worked with athletes for a very long time, right?
Yeah,
And to me, vision board is a tool that I use to visualize. So
yeah,
that's something that's very common in the sports industry. Like we make our athletes visualize, and they
yeah.
even did research where they took, you know, 3 different teams, for example, and told them that a week from now they would have a basketball exam. And then for one team, they said, you're not allowed to think about it. You're not allowed to practice. You just know that 7 days from now, you're going to have a basketball exam. And then another team had to practice in the gym for an hour a day. And the third group had to visualize the
Ooh,
exercises of the basketball for an
yes,
hour a day. And the groups that had physical practice and the groups that visualized had similar performance rates.
wow.
So it's insane when you start looking into visualization. There's lots of research done,
Yep.
also for instruments, playing instruments, for sports. So if it works for sports and playing piano, why would it work for our dreams?
Right.
Right?
That's so true. And you talk about instruments. Actually, I played the instrument, we'll just say way back when, but I can still, like you said, but I can still visualize the word, the placements and where it goes. I so totally agree with you on the visualization. It does really work, and it stays with you, especially when you do it on a repetitive basis, and you're just making, and let's be honest, all you have to do is spend 5 minutes a day to start getting into routine of your vision. It starts coming, and then you're noticing that you do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, because it comes so natural, or you're loving the results. You're like, oh shoot, let me just keep it going here. And then so and honestly, that's how I got so consumed with the vision boards, because I know what it can do, and I'm loving what it does for me, and I can show, everyone, we're always talking about it, but to show the results and see the results is so much more and so important.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
much agree with you. I very
yeah,
much agree with you.
so true. So I can't believe this. We're almost, actually, we're a little halfway past the show real quick. I know, right?
This is flying by.
I know, it's so fun, and it's gone by so fast. So real quick, Vicky, before we take a quick break, where can people connect to you, and how can they connect to you?
Yes, I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. My handles are always just my name if you're ever able to spell the last one, but it's probably going to be somewhere around here. And yeah, you can just reach out, send me a DM or a message, or ever if you want to connect. If you have any questions about becoming nomad and moving on a sailboat, I'd love to help someone out who has a similar dream as mine. And also have a podcast that is on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's called Aim for More. It's very short, 5 to 7 minute truth bombs. I usually talk about a topic and then give people some homework, some actions.
Love it, love it. So I hope you guys have sat down, and I mean, she already dropped the big one, so I don't even have to ask you guys what's the tip. So I hope you guys got it. If not, catch it on the replay, because it was a powerful one. And actually, it will be used in part of my bandwidth. As I said, bandwidth, yes, bandwidth. But real quick, everyone, I'm gonna give her a break for a real quick moment. But I want to let everyone know that today's show is actually sponsored by At the Table. At the Table is a nonprofit organization located here in Columbus, Ohio. They are actually an amazing nonprofit organization that are here to empower, inspire young ladies to go after actually their what's next. They do some really amazing work where they go into a high school and they mentor. I think we have 30 girls this year. We've mentored, that has gone from the ninth to 12th grade, that are where they're needing some a little bit more hands-on, and so we give them tools, or they get to see people that they don't wouldn't necessarily get to be, or get to hear what others are doing out there, so they can be inspired to go after them. And so mark your calendar for June the 25th, because At the Table will be having their first annual walkathon. Yes, the first annual walkathon. So I am actually getting gathering up a team. If anybody wants to like to join me, I will be there. Of course, I sit as the board chair, so I definitely will be there. But I'm looking for a team to go out here and walk with me, as well as we're also looking for vendors as well as sponsors. But I will definitely drop it in the feed on how you can connect more with At the Table. But we would love your support, and actually, I would love for you to be on my team. But today's show is sponsored by At the Table. And then secondly, I want you all to know, well, actually, we have two sponsors. The other one is Alicia is on here. It is all about, she says, hello, ladies. She is actually holding a workshop. Alicia, if you can drop it in the feed, she's all talking about resiliency. And I'm so excited about that workshop. So if anybody would like to know about how to live a resilient life, I know you guys are hearing that word more and you want to know more, or how you can live a resilient life. Drop, Elisa, if you can drop it in the feed, the link on how they can check it out. Let me know. I'm all about empowering, inspiring women, with ladies, and this is the way we can do it. So back to you, Miss Vickie, real quick. I know, right? Miss Traveler, World Traveler. I hope that when you go out to, when you get on the sailboat, that you will, hopefully you incorporate some of it. I would love to just stay in touch and see how your
Yeah.
journey is going as you are traveling around the world. I even told my dad was like, wow. He was really,
Thank
he's like,
you.
oh, that is amazing. So he's a world adventurer as well. So he was really like, wow, I wish I could do that. I'm like, don't even start doing that. But he's really adventurous. So he's like, he applauds you for that. And I
Thank
do too.
you.
So as we are going to the next half of the show, we get a little bit more in tune, or in doing some more empowerment. So one way we do it is we talk about book on the shelf. And I talk about it all the time because, again, I love empowering, inspiring. What another way to do it is with your mind. So I have, yes, I do. I know everyone's like, but you're busy. Yes, I am, but I listen to books, you guys. I have literally over 60 books in Audible library right now. But yeah, but I listen to them wherever I go. I don't listen to the radio. My family hates that. I don't listen to the radio. I listen to books. And I do believe about expanding my mind, because why not? So, with that being said, Vickie, are you reading a book, or can you recommend a book that is on your shelf?
Yeah, 100%. Right now, I'm rereading for the second time Wise Heart. It's by Jack Cornfield. So this is like Buddhism meets American psychology. So it's a really good. The teachings in there are very powerful. They're very good, and they're really helping me on this journey of letting go. Because
Mhm.
becoming a nomad, you have to let go of relationships. You have to let go of the way your life used to be. You have to let go of so many objects, my bed, my dresser, souvenirs, So Buddhism is a lot about that, being detached
Mhm.
and be able to observe yourself and observe your behavior. So I was telling you earlier how, like, my external reality right now is chaos, because as we're moving, everything is a mess, everything is in boxes. But because of the teachings of this book, internally I feel very grounded and peaceful. So the storm happens outside of me on the other side of the window, and I'm very warm inside and safe. Yeah, Wise Heart, Jack Cornfield would be my recommendation today.
I love it. I wrote it down. Someone, look, I'll have to add that to my Audible library. I will have to add that to my Audible library. And actually, I am reading Speak by Tundi.
Oh,
She is an amazing, actually she does, let me get her last name. She is teaching in the Pelotona, and she had talked about how she first started out becoming a model, and she in the fashion model, and but she didn't feel so in tune and complete. And so then that's when she started getting in tune, started getting healthy, and starts, and then so now she does the teaching of the pelotona, and she talked about how she connected. So I love the book. Actually, she was just featured on the Tamara Hall show, and one day I was like, "Hey, I'm reading. I know her from somewhere," and I had to literally turn around and listen to her. But she is very good. Tundi is very good, and her book is very inspirational. So I hope everyone is take these books as part of your library, and knowing that to expand your mind, it's going to allow you to just see the world in such a different way. It's crazy. I promise you. I'm like saying so many things, it's just wow, mind blowing. And let me say this, because so many women are like, well, I'm too old for this. No, you're not. You're
You're
never
never too
too
old.
old, never too old, and to grasp to go after your what's next. And what perfect way we have it. You have a support system. I have thousands of women just like Vickie, that if I can't help you, all I got to do is text them or call them or email them, and they're there saying, I can help and how can I help. So knowing that you have a safe haven and safe place to connect to your what's next. So
Mhm.
with that being said, not only do we do talk about what's on our book on the shelf, what kind of personal or mindset care do you do for you?
Oh boy. So, okay. I do a lot of things. I always joke that I became a mindset coach because I have a ridiculous amount of mindset blockages. So I test all of my techniques on myself first. I have a not so strict, but very consistent morning routine. So I journal every single morning, some gratitude or just anything that's coming through my mind, anything I want to let go of. Do some reading every morning. I move my body every morning. Sometimes it's a walk, sometimes it's a workout, sometimes it's just yoga. And then I want to accomplish one thing in my day before I turn on my phone. So just spending time away from my phone has helped my mindset so much. So every night I put it on airplane mode, away from my bed. And then in the morning, I do my whole routine. I do one action. Maybe it's emptying the dishwasher or starting the laundry, answering an email, filming a reel with the airplane mode on, no matter what it is before I turn it on. So this is just kind of the basic. And then I do some tapping. I don't know if you know EFT. So
Yeah.
emotional freedom technique. I usually do it in the shower because it usually makes me cry. So in the shower, no one can bother me and I can just cry as much as I need to and want to. I have my vision board that's always hanging out. I usually watch it when I'm working out, especially when the workouts are hard. It's very
Yeah.
motivating. And I try to always have it in the room with me. So if I'm in the kitchen cooking, I'm just going to put the vision board in the kitchen. If I'm in the bedroom sleeping, I'm going to bring the vision board in the bedroom. So I do that. And then my boyfriend and I once a week have like a very transparent conversation where we just go deep into our vulnerability. We usually ask ourselves the question, is there anything I need to apologize for? And
Mm.
sometimes it's very tiny things, like you made a comment about what I looked like in that dress on Wednesday. And I've been carrying this for 2 days, but for 1 hour, we don't take anything the person says personally. And we just listen authentically and be vulnerable and just kind of speak freely. So that's kind of a safe moment that's really been helping me um, on this journey. So I think, yeah, that's what I do for my mindset on a
I
weekly
love
basis.
I love it. I love that. I really love that you and your boyfriend sit down and you guys just have that time where you can say this is what bothered me, and there can't be no holding grudges, no judgment. And I love that. And that's something that we all need to do, because we hold on to so many grudges and so many regrets that, by the end of the day, we need to, if you need to let go,
Yes.
let go of the grudges and let go, and talk about it. And so many people, and I will admit, I used to be the one where I would hold it in, or like, whatever. Now I have to face it, and I'm being honest with myself. And then also, but sometimes I'm like, okay, am I being catty? Am I just,
Yeah.
but it's also, but it's being in tune for me. And what do I need for me, and not what everybody else. So I love that, and I commend you for that. So great job on that.
Yeah,
Here.
thank you. I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky to I shouldn't say lucky. I should say I'm grateful to have such a wonderful partner who's also into personal development, who's also trying to be a better person every day, who also has goals, and who has the same desires as me in terms of
Yeah.
moving on the boat and everything. So very grateful for my partner.
I absolutely. Well, we're at the end of our show, but before we go, I know, right? This was so fun. That's why I was like, when you get on that boat, we're gonna have to have a podcast moment. And like, how?
Yeah, let's do it again.
So before we go out before we close out the show, what would you like to leave our listeners and followers with?
mm. uh, I want to tell you that when people tell you it's impossible, it's because it's impossible for them, not for you. Remember that people talk about themselves, and you have all the answers inside of you. You have all the answers inside of your heart. So just listen to it.
That's powerful. Well, Vickie, I want to thank you for joining me. This was so fun. I knew it would be. We hit it off right after we got
Yes.
to talking, so I knew it would be. And I so appreciate you, and I'm so thankful that you have gracefully graced us with your knowledge and your experience and just being here in your presence. So I want to let you know thank you, and I can't wait to be part of the next to hear you're part of the
Yes.
journey and things like that. And so, with that being said, everyone, if you have not listened to anything else, you guys have to listen to the beginning because she gave you a huge nugget. Huge nugget. I promise you, it is so big. I have written it. Look, I got my red pen. I've written it on my paper 3 times that I will start incorporating it into my day to day life. But those of you who are new to the show, welcome to the show and thank you for taking the time out to join us. And if no one has not told you, you guys rock and you're amazing. And know that you only have one life to live. Live it to the fullest and don't go with any regrets. Be thankful for what you have and be, as we even talked about, talk about grace. Talk about grateful and beats all that. And know that if you're looking for a tribe to help you get you to your what's next, with on whatever roadmap you are using to maybe the vision board, know we're here for you and this is a safe place for you. Until next week, everyone, take care of yourself, be in tune to yourself, be in tune to your vision, your passion, and your purpose. Take care, and we'll see you next week, everyone. Bye. Bye.